Welcome to the Afrocloud Technologies podcast, where we hope that you will learn, achieve, and advance. Visit our website at afrocloud.co.ke. And if you haven't already subscribed, please go ahead and press the subscribe button. Enjoy the podcast. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Tech Talk with Afrocloud. I'm your host, Steve Asema, CEO of Afrocloud Technologies. Becoming a successful entrepreneur is a dream many aspire to achieve. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with a successful entrepreneur, Tonnie Mello. Tonnie is the CEO of Bizna Kenya, amongst many other successful ventures he's gone into. Welcome to the show, Tonnie.
Thank you, Steve.
So, Tonnie, is entrepreneurship something that started with you, or is this something that ran in the family?
Actually, for me, it runs in the family, and it is something that I carry with a lot of pride, that I am a fourth-generation entrepreneur. Basically, to say that my father, my grandfather, and my great-grandfather were in some form of business or the other. So for me, really, it's something that I carry with a lot of pride.
Okay. So what are some of the businesses you started getting into? Like, were you younger? Or what are some of the businesses you got into?
Like I said, my father was in business. So basically he ran a shop, or rather he owned a shop, and my mother's one used to run it.
Okay.
So my initial experience and interaction with business was at the shop level. And for me, it was very interesting because I got to understand the business processes at that level.
Yes.
And for me, actually growing up, doing business was the most sensible thing.
Okay.
Because then I got to understand how money is made, that you get goods at this price and in these quantities, and then you sell during the day. So by evening, you've made some money. And so that for me was how I got introduced into business. Secondly, I had a very wonderful opportunity of being mentored by my own father, because because of developing interest in business earlier on. That it was easier for him to begin to work with me.
Yes.
And to work with me. So he actually literally mentored me in business as early as age maybe 6, 7, 8. I used to go for business meetings with him. I mean, I was just a silent listener, but then again, at least I got the nuances
some good
of
experience,
business and cutting deals, and and also got to understand the highs and lows of business. Because some of these things, he was either trying to cut a deal or was trying to resolve a matter. So I got to understand that. And by the time I was getting to Kenyan system Form 2,
yes,
that I was about maybe 16.
Yes.
I was now like really involved in the business. My dad could leave me running the business maybe for a day or two. By the time I was hitting 18, I could run the business for a week or more.
Okay.
And then after that, I went to college. So during my college years, I was now really supporting the business. But unfortunately, when I was in third year, the business collapsed. And so after college, I had to work for a while. And then for about 3 years, then after the 3 years, now I went into business. My first business was in logistics, that is a courier company. And basically what we were looking to do at that time was to provide outsourcing services for mail delivery specifically.
Okay.
So I started that, and then I moved on to a few other things.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So how did this eventually morph to you starting Bizna Academy?
All right. So basically, what happened is that since I got into business earlier, I got a lot of people coming to me seeking my peers, seeking ideas and support and advice on business. So because of that, I got involved in the youth entrepreneurship movement, whereby we are trying to push the youth entrepreneurship agenda. And so through that, I began to do things like training, and then I also got into youth entrepreneurship and largely business leadership. During this time, I worked with as a consultant and as a partner with the youth fund, and I also got into KEPSA, Kenya Private Sector Alliance, where I served 2 terms as a governor. And so, yeah, it moved on. But then one of the things that I realized is that there is not a lot of goodwill and support from a lot of these quarters. I mean, everybody is looking up to government. Everybody is looking up to the BMOs, business organizations like KEPSA and Chamber. But then you realize that for most of these guys, they also have their own things that they are doing. So they only want to engage and to reach out to the level of their convenience. So when it's no longer convenient, then people move on and they're not able to offer a lot of support. I mean, not everybody, but generally that is how things are.
Yes.
So at some point, to be honest, I got frustrated because I was seeing so much that could be done to help small businesses in this country. And that is now how Bizna was born. So after trying it out with the structures that were available and things not working the way I thought they should, then I was like, why can't I just set up a platform that can begin to do at least the things that I think should be done? So we set up Bizna in 2014. And then by 2015, 2016, I had the idea of now doing Bizna Academy, which is basically a platform that will be able to build the capacity of small business owners and managers. Steve, I'm sure you know that the situation, the entrepreneurship terrain in Kenya is such that a lot of people get into business out of circumstance. For most people, it's not a deliberate thing, and it's all, and most of the time people are not even prepared to go into business. So you find that they might like some essential skills and tools in business. You have to be able to provide skills, to provide even tools, and also to provide a platform for interaction, because again, business is about networking and working with other people.
Okay. So as you are starting it, did you experience some challenges like, maybe, I don't know how familiar you are with technology then, just starting, did it require funding? What are some of the challenges you went through at the beginning? I imagine if you did starting up Bizna.
The first challenge that we encountered was setting up the platform.
Yes.
Because again, we just didn't want any platform.
Yes.
We wanted to set up a unique platform that be able to address the specific needs and be able to provide the kind of service that we envisioned. So that was the first challenge. So we had a problem with that. And we struggled from about 2015, we really struggled with it until about maybe 2018. That's when we actually put together a platform that I felt would deliver this. Then secondly, we had now a problem with content, which really is where we got stuck, because finding the right content that would speak to the issues that are affecting small business in Kenya, again, can be a challenge, because most of what we find now, most of the content that is available is from outside. And so you find that it might not be a perfect match for the needs in the market. So because of those two challenges, we basically got stuck and we parked the idea for a better time.
Okay. And some of the and you managed to pick up quite a big following. So how did you manage to a lot of people they try, whether they are online bloggers or online in YouTube and everything, the biggest challenge they have is getting a following. So how did you manage to, because you have a pretty good following on Bizna Kenya, how did you build this online following that you have on Bizna?
Okay, the first thing is a niche. We were very clear in terms of what's our target group.
Yes.
And even within that target group, what we really needed to achieve. Bizna, we because again, the problems, for small business, they're quite a lot. So what we decided to do is that we decided to intervene in two key areas. The first one is access to markets,
Yeah.
and the other one is now enterprise development, which is now the capacity building that we are talking about.
Yeah.
And so that made it very easy for us. Initially, when we started, of course, we fumbled a bit. So
Yes.
because we wanted the numbers, we tried everything, from politics to sports, and and also a bit of gossip.
Yeah.
But then we realized that first of all, it was very difficult for us because that's not what we intended to do.
Yes.
And then also we realized that we're also frustrating
Okay.
our visitors.
Yes.
So basically, we narrowed down to what we needed to do and
Yes.
started working on it. And what I saw, the first thing was niching, and then the second thing that has helped us is delivering fresh content daily.
Okay.
On Bizna, we do fresh content. We do a minimum of 5 posts every day,
Yes.
Monday to Sunday. And then the other thing was we also decided to work on verticals. So we would pick a vertical and then we would work on it. We have like six key verticals. The first one is SME, whereby we feature mainly profiles of successful business people, not just successful, but basically we tell the small business story. Because like most places, the media is awash with stories about Kirubi and Chandaria and Bimal Shah and the same old names.
Right.
So what you find in Bizna is we tell now the stories of people that you've never heard. When people hear of Steve Asiyama, they're like, who is this guy? How is he doing it? When did he do it? I mean, there's a level of freshness.
Yes.
So the first, and then of course, besides the profiles, we also now provide tips on management and digital marketing and basically information that we feel is important, is relevant, and is useful to small businesses. So the first vertical is SME. The second one
Yes.
is agribusiness. Again, we also realize that a lot of Kenyans have a lot of interest in agribusiness. And so for them, ideas around agribusiness, how to do it, what to do what, and how it works became of interest. The third one that we worked on was savings and investment. Again, there are people out there who have 10K, want to invest. They have $1 million, they have 500K, they have 50,000. So basically, again, work around giving them tips and ideas on how to do that. The fourth vertical is real estate. Again, but then again, also I think at this point I'd like to mention that the other thing also is that we have angles when we are building these verticals. We also have angles. Like now, and we approach each vertical differently. When it comes to real estate, people are looking for affordable ways to own homes.
Yes.
So guys looking like, if I can only afford 3 million shillings, how can I get a home? Or if I can afford 2.5 or even 1 million, how can I do that? And so we'll go into specifics of, for example, if it's roofing, what are the options, things like that. Where do you source from materials? What we consider for us is the luxury category is on auto.
Okay.
Basically about cars. So guys basically want to know where they can get cheap cars and how they can run them cheaply. Then finally, now of course, now there's the general news category, and of course we are working on a few others.
Okay. So when you were starting, you were fortunate you got that mentor as your father mentored you, and they got that start. So for whether I'm trying to do an online successful business, you have very good articles and very good things that people can get on Bizna Academy. Now, in terms of mentoring, where would you say, like with the online business, where would people find mentors to help them, succeed in businesses like that?
We are very lucky in Kenya. We have a very vibrant enterprise development ecosystem.
Yes.
And I'm saying this out of information because personally I'm an enterprise development specialist and I've worked with the likes of ILO and the UNDP.
Yes.
And currently I'm actually serving as the chairman of the Professional Business Mentors Association. This association was born out of a course that was offered by Inrere University, whereby they actually trained, and with support from ILO, they actually trained consultants to become professional small business mentors.
Okay.
So at least for starters, I know there's over 100
Okay.
trained small business mentors that are available. The
Okay.
second thing is yes. So these ones are available, and those are just the ones that are in the ones that went through the branch. There are so many mentors. But what is lacking and where the challenge is now is three things. Number one is that we don't have a culture of paying for services
Okay.
as a people. So people will want they want the mentoring, they want to be served, but I mean we just find it difficult. I mean, to be honest, that's my opinion, that we find it difficult to pay for services. The second one is now the technology bit, because the traditional model was, you go, you meet and you discuss, someone takes you to mentors you physically. But now what we need, and it's something that we will be working with Afrocloud to do, is to create a platform where that mentor can start happening. And then the final thing, of course, is to find data that would speak to a lot of issues, because again, sometimes some of the sectors there isn't enough data to go by. So you find that even the help that a mentor will be able to help to provide might be limited in that sense.
Okay. One interesting thing I read on one of your articles was that about people quitting their job and going, and entrepreneurship is not for everyone. It's a calling. It's only some. If you are
Yes.
happy with your job, interesting take that I was reading, and maybe you want to talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, I was in a position recently.
Yeah.
Growing up, like I said, for me, doing business was the most sensible thing. I mean, honestly, I used to struggle, wondering. I mean, even the days that I went into employment, I
Yes.
just went to employment primarily to raise capital. Did I had
Yes.
enough
Enough
zeros in
capital.
my account?
Yeah.
My position has always been that
Yes.
everybody should be doing business because it makes sense. Because again, if you look at everything and everywhere, you'll find that there are only three types of, communities are built in three ways. One is by government, so
Yes.
if it's like institutions, you find that there are government offices, government schools and stuff. The second one is now like non-governmental, so it could be religious institutions or non-governmental. Then the third, and which is actually the biggest,
Yeah.
is business.
Yeah.
It is actually businesses that build communities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
So even the government itself draws money from the business people,
Yes.
either from taxes that are paid by the business owners, or
Yeah.
by taxes paid by the business owners.
Yes.
So I always felt that business is the right thing. But then over time and through experience, I learned that everybody cannot be an entrepreneur. In any
Yes.
case, the entrepreneurs need these good people to come and
Yes.
run the business.
Yes.
Because again, in essence, I think most entrepreneurs are not good managers. I'm learning it. So since they are not very good managers, it's
Yeah.
only right and proper and fair that they actually get people who are professional and people who will be able to run and grow the businesses and take them to the next level. And for me, I've actually, where I am at now, I believe that it's actually a partnership between
Yes.
the business owner and
Mhm.
the managers or the people who run the business.
Okay. Okay. So, what parting words would you have for? I'm sure there are a lot of entrepreneurs who look up to you, and
Yes.
what parting words would you have for them on the business? If there are any challenges, or what would you say to them?
Well, business definitely is challenging. I mean, the times that I felt like quitting are so many, because sometimes you go through something like, why am I even doing this? I mean, I have like six professions that I can just lag into and, just wait for a salary at the end of the month. But then
Yeah.
again, when you look at what you stand to gain, and even the impact in the society, I mean, Bizna now, we've hit over 10 million
Wow.
users, and these are unique users, not
Yes.
repeat users. These are unique users. These are people who come and they've come again and again and again and again. So when you look at that, you are like, we are making a difference in whatever
That's
small way.
true.
Yeah, so that keeps us going. And then again, also, even what we achieve. I mean, entrepreneurship is does not only benefit the owner only, it benefits the workers and it benefits the people who use their services. But my final parting words are: one, please visit biznakenya.com, look at what we are doing and give us feedback. And then also look out for Bizna Academy, which will be launching early next month. And for the Bizna Academy, we are partnering with Afrocloud and Synergistic Value Limited. Great things are coming your way.
Great. Always good to talk to you, Tonnie.
Thank you so much, Steve.
Okay. Thank you for listening to our podcast. Visit our website at afrocloud.co.ke and on social media at Afrocloud Kenya. Thank you, and see you on the next podcast.